India's leading sector agnostic business incubators located in Greater Noida, Delhi NCR region. We aim to create economic and social impact through entrepreneurship. AIC BIMTECH is driven by Atal Innovation Mission, which comes under Niti Aayog, to create high-class incubation facilities. We have been operational since January 2018, and over the course of journey, we have supported 174 plus startups across the country, formed 90 plus national and international partnerships, and offered $1.2 million in free benefits to its incubatees. 14 of our incubatees have also raised funds to the tune of $1.4 million. So that is a short brief about us. And now I would hand it over to Prashasti to take the discussion ahead.
Thank you, Pragya, for your kind introduction about AIC BIMTECH. Moving towards to the session of banking and finance for startups, it's now my pleasure to introduce our eminent speaker from Kotak Mahindra Bank, Mr. Ujjwal Barnwal, Vice President and Circle Manager, Business Banking Priority. He is a banker with 14 years of experience in retail banking, with diverse experience in wholesale banking, wealth management, transaction banking, and compliance. He's a Circle Manager for Business Banking and also manages corporates and startups, including 10 plus unicorns with his team of relationship managers. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Team BIMTECH. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this wonderful event. I'm really happy to be a part of all the young entrepreneurs who are budding startup, who are someone who are looking forward to become the unicorns. Let me tell you, no unicorn became a unicorn on day one. Everyone started off small, either in a room or a garage. I mean, names are plenty, you can just Google it, but everybody started off with an idea or a problem statement. They always needed somebody who can be by their side, be their family to raise their seed, or a banker when they became a unicorn or about to become a unicorn or a unicorn. Now, Kotak is one bank which is the third largest bank in the country. We have been associated with a lot of startups. So while Team BIMTECH said I manage close to 10 plus unicorns, but it is just a number. There are so many of them who have the idea, potential, knowledge, expertise, team, strength, everyone who can make it big. And I assume that all the participants who are here in this call, one day, someday, your name also flashes and Kotak is a part of your journey or your success story. So I'm here to tell you what all Kotak Mahindra Bank is doing for startups to improvise or simplify their business. Now, let's take the simplest example. Let's say Swiggy. Now, Swiggy understood a problem wherein people were ordering food. It was being called upon at the restaurant. The food was getting delivered by the restaurant guys. It was time taking, no more of tracking it. They understood the problem, and what they did was they came up with an app. The app helped streamline everything, and at every point there was a bank step which was involved, because end of the day, every startup, whatever is formed, end of the day, there is a money transaction that is happening, either from a company to a customer to the bank, a bank to a vendor to so many places. So there's something which is common in all the startups, that there would be a flow of money, which I primarily mean a collection or a payment. So be rest assured, Kotak Mahindra Bank is one bank who understands the needs of every startup. And with that need, we curate a product to make it simple for the company so that they can focus on their business and we can look after their transaction banking part of things. So I will not take much time. I will just take you through the presentation, which is designed exclusively for startups by Kotak Mahindra Bank, which will give you an insight. Well, is the slides visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It's visible.
So these are just the small backgrounds. A small brief about Kotak. So you think of any product or service which comes under financial services, and Kotak Mahindra Bank and the group is present. So we have a securities arm, we have a general insurance, we have a life insurance, we have Prime, which is nothing but a car finance company. We are into capital company, we are international business, and the asset management and investment advisories company. Each of them handle a different set of business, but they fall under the same group, which is Kotak Mahindra. So this is how we look at your business. This is the most important and the useful slide, which is the client's business. So every client has their own business model, but that business model gets addressed in terms of transaction requirements through Kotak in a different way or the other. So for example, a client business is right here. The first and foremost thing what they need is if they have funds. So hypothetically, if a startup has already raised, say, seed money or say Series A or any kind of fund, the funds would be lying idle. And normally, as per process, they are not allowed to deploy that money into equity, because what the investor wants is the money to be deployed in the business so that they can generate maximum return out of the business and not by investing into equity or any other form of instrument. So here, the first part, what I would like to highlight is the sweep facility, which is the active money. In Kotak, what happens is anything above a specific threshold starts giving you return on that money which you hold in the bank account. So a simple example, assuming a startup or a corporate has a crore kind of balance, every month they have a burn of around 10 lakh, 12 lakh, 20 lakh. The first option is they can put the money into a fixed deposit, but the other option is you can put the money into a sweep facility so that without worrying about what money is required, you can easily earn returns out of that money. That is the first and foremost differentiator compared to any bank that you know, and we offer interest on the current account balances. The next point that I want to talk about is mobile banking and net banking. Our mobile banking is rated as 4.4, as simple as transferring money to somebody who is not registered as a beneficiary. You can transfer 50,000. Now, these things sounds very small, but as a founder of a company, if you have to book a place for one of your employee in a different city and you have to make a payment, you can go and make the payment directly without adding a beneficiary. To booking a fixed deposit, to doing investments, to viewing your bank balances, to downloading statement, to blocking your card, unblocking, everything is seamless and user friendly. On top of it, we have something called as a KMall. Now, when you try and book a flight ticket through GoIBibo, there is a convenience fee that gets charged. Now, in KMall, you will not have to pay anything called as convenience fee. So you save every rupee there. On top of it, there are various brands which are partnered with us, and we give them discounts every now and then so that the customer, instead of going to an app and booking it, uses Kotak Mahindra Bank mobile banking app and platform to book any service that they feel like. The other part is collections and payment technology. Now, this is the most critical. We all understand that whether a corporate or a startup, funds will come into the account and there would be a debit instruction that will come and the money would be paid. Whatever is left over is the profit what a startup would end up making. And that is the basic model what a bank looks at. Now, there can be a complex transaction. There can be a host to host. There can be an API which can be inbuilt. But the bottom line is you will have to have a payment and collection solutions given to the startup. Now, to address all that, we have multiple things on the top row. First is the payment gateway solutions, a very old mechanism, but yes, all the payment gateway services are made available to Kotak clients. They can have a e-invoicing or a link through which the payments can be collected. The settlement happened in T+1 or T+2 days, depending upon the volumes. And we offer a payment gateway service to all the startups. The next point, what you can see is the Nodal account. This is something which is the most famous and the in thing which is happening once the e-commerce boom has come to India. Now, Nodal account is something very, very simple. Now, if you are providing a service which is given to a customer but procured by somebody else, then as per RBI, you need to have a Nodal account in place. Taking simple example, an example of a company like Amazon, wherein suppose a customer wants to buy an iPhone, the iPhone is placed, the iPhone order is placed on the Amazon app, but it is not sold by Amazon per se. It is sold by a third-party vendor. So hypothetically, if the price of the iPhone is say 1 lakh and the margin is 4,000 or 5,000 rupees on that phone, so the money once you pay as a user goes and sits into the Nodal account. From the Nodal account, the money gets split into two parts. One share is for the vendor, which is 96% or 95% pre-agreed within the bank and the supplier. And the remaining 5,000 goes to the startup, which is the Amazon here in the example. And that's how the Nodal account functions. Now, talk about any company, be it Flipkart, Amazon, Swiggy, Meesho, all of them, their entire business model is on Nodal. And at the same time, the number of transactions decides what kind of solution one has to take. It can be a normal tally-based solution, or when you integrate it, it has to be a host-to-host solution. And if you want a real-time transaction processing, it is completely on a API model. The third point is current account and collection solutions. Sorry. So current account collections solutions and current account payment solutions. One can be your vendor payments. So suppose in a day you have to make payments to say 200 people for various amounts for their services that you have rendered. So for example, let's take example of MyGate. So in MyGate, there are various people who get paid in one society. There are multiple societies where MyGate is operational and all of them have to be paid on the same day at the same time. Their Kotak solutions, that is payment solutions, comes into picture wherein through cash management services platform, we allow you to do up to 5,000 transactions at one click. There would be a person who would be a maker of the file. He uploads the file. The same gets in the queue of the authorizer. He verifies the transaction and the payments get done. So that is something through our CMS payment solutions. Let's come to the collection solutions. Collection solutions are plenty and it's a vast field. So for example, somebody comes and deposits money into the account. That also comes under collection solutions, but you need to know who is the one who's deposited the money. So in this case, what we have done and developed is there is something called a Smart Collect. Now, Smart Collect is nothing but I give you the information what NPCI shares it with me. So as a startup in a day, if you receive say 5,005 entries, it is a little difficult to figure out which money has been sent by whom. In that case, our Smart Collect solution comes really handy, wherein I give you the information that say 5,000 rupee was sent by Ujjwal Baranwal, 5,000 rupee was sent by Mohil Sood, this was sent by so and so, this bank, this branch code, this location, this city, and this is the narration what they had captured. So you understand what kind of transfer is this and this pertains to what. So that is one of the collection solutions wherein we just give you the MI saying that this money belongs to so and so person and this is the reason why the transfer has been done. The next is virtual accounts. Now, virtual account is something really interesting. You need not share your current account number to all the companies because there is no point in exposing your current account number, IFSC code to everyone. What we do is we create a virtual account. So for example, let's say a company by the name Nestaway. So the virtual account can be alphanumeric, NEST followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They transfer the money in the alphanumeric account and effectively it gets credited to the company account that you hold. And you get the real-time MIS that this money was transferred by so-and-so person, so-and-so person. This helps you to reconcile your collections and helps you understand this payment belongs to whom and what was the purpose of payment. So that is something which is related to virtual account. The other thing can be through a NACH. Now NACH is nothing but an advanced version of ECS. ECS, how it used to happen is, suppose I have to make a payment to a person by the name Mohil. I had an obligation of paying 1,00,000 rupee, but on the day of ECS, I had only 99,000 rupee on the account. No matter what, however you do it, the ECS will bounce. And to reset the ECS, it will take another one cycle complete to get the second ECS hit. If you were to reinitiate the ECS, you have to request the bank and the bank takes easily 10 to 15 days to get the ECS reinitiated. To solve all these problems, we have come up with something called as NACH, which stands for National Automated Clearinghouse. What happens here is the bank gives you an access to the account from where the money is supposed to come to your account. I repeat, if I am supposed to pay 1,00,000 rupee to Mohil, then Mohil will get a small check size form signed by me. Whenever Mohil wants to debit my account, he will give an instruction to his bank and the bank will debit the money from my account and credit to his account. That way, a lot of startup has been benefited because there are times when you sell a product and the product payment comes over a period of 2 months time, 3 months time, 4 months time. There is an uncertainty whether the money will come or not. With NACH, you have a control that if not today, tomorrow I can again initiate. If not 1 lakh, if the funds are only 50,000, you can initiate a request for 50,000 and the money can be brought to the account. So that is something pertaining to NACH. Similarly, we have multiple solutions which we can discuss at length as and when you have a requirement, and we will always be there to help and support. The next is POS and Bharat QR. Now, this is something which is common and has been in use since ages. The best part about Kotak is in POS, we can give you a same day settlement. That is something which is really nice. And Bharat QR code, again, the QR code which gets scanned, the money gets transferred to your account the very next day. that simplifies the process of making the payment without using actual bank account. It can be used to make payments through a wallet as well. NACH, I think I've already explained to you. Now, if you see value added services, client business on the right, there is home banking, beat check pickup, multi-city cash deposit. Now, Kotak Mahindra Bank is an account which is really powerful because I do not charge you for any cash deposit, or I do not charge you for cash withdrawals, not only in your home branch, not only in your home city, but across the country. So somebody who holds an account with Kotak Mahindra Bank can deposit 1.2 crore a month in any of the branches across the country. Obviously, anything above 10 lakh would require a written letter saying that why is this deposit, because it's a RBI norm. But in terms of charges, we have completely gone ahead and waived it. And I repeat, across the country, you can do it. The next best thing is we give you a home banking service. So suppose your office, hypothetically in Bangalore, it's in Bareghatta, you need not travel to the branch to deposit anything. So we make sure that if you need cash to be deposited, check to be deposited in your company's account or your employee's salary account, it gets picked up. The request can be placed at the call center. The request can be placed at the net banking, and it gets done seamlessly. On the contrary, if you want to make demand drafts for making various payments, just in case, we would give you the service at your office or at your home, whichever is the registered address. So you go ahead, go to the net banking page, place a request for a check pickup. Similarly, you place a request for demand draft delivery, demand draft favoring Mr. X for an amount of 1 lakh of rupee payable at Bangalore. If you place the request, same day it's get delivered if the request is placed till 1 o'clock. So these are the things that we do as a value add. And I repeat, again, it comes for free. Just below the value added services, if you see, there is something called as trade services, trade and foreign exchange solutions. Now, a lot of startups, they have clients who are cross border. So for example, there are clients who have customers in US, UK, UAE, all these places. Now, the biggest challenge what you face is how would you remit money? And second thing is when you remit money, whether the prices that you see for USD or any other currency, is it transparent or not? The Kotak Mahindra Bank takes care of both the aspects. The first one is we give you a FX live. In that platform, I completely keep things transparent, wherein I say if the USD price is 75 and the margin which we have agreed upon is 5 paisa, what you will see is 75.05 or 74.95, depending upon the outward or inward remittance. So that is something which no other bank is giving you. We give you complete transparency when it comes to foreign exchange transactions. Let's talk about convenience. In terms of convenience, every document pertaining to outward or inward remittance can be done online. You will not have to visit a branch to do a transaction, understanding if there is a rejection, so on and so forth. You just upload the document goes into processing, and the transaction gets executed. So the banks looks after the cost by keeping things convenient and giving you the foreign exchange price live. We share a router screen, which is really beneficial. Let's take it one step forward. Suppose you have raised Series A or Series B and there is a FDI coming in. We help you from the beginning till the end to the FCGPR filing to make sure that every regulatory and compliance aspect is taken care of. So that is something which has been the strength of Kotak Mahindra Bank, and our clients definitely use our bank for a simple reason. We give the credit in 2 to 3 hours and the filing gets done seamlessly. So that is something very important. On the left hand side, if you see other services, it says business cards and tax payment. Of course, any tax which you think of can be paid using Kotak Mahindra Bank's website. And there are cards like debit card, credit card, all that solutions is available. The good part of our debit card is we do not charge you for using your debit card, not only in domestic ATMs, but also internationally. So any bank whom you are banking with, if you have a debit card from them, probably if you try and use it in a different country, they will ask you to take a foreign exchange card. We also have it. But my debit card is power packed that if you withdraw from an ATM or do a balance inquiry, I do not charge you at all. So that is something, and this is how we view your business. Let's come to the payment solutions. I've taken you in a brief the features of POS machines. So contactless card acceptance is something which we have. Accept payments from credit, debit, and other dynamic QR codes for payments using Kotak POS. That is something which is common for all the banks, but we streamline it by saying that we can get the credit done to your account in the same day itself. Dynamic QR code is also available. We also have a zero MDR charges option available on UPI. Any UPI payment that your customer does on a swiping machine or a scanner, we do not charge you at all there. The other good thing is, suppose you have a product which you are selling it through your startup, we can offer a EMI solution to your customers. Of course, the burden of the risk will definitely come on you, but I'm sure if the products are good, the clients would be willing to make sure that the payment comes. But we also have a EMI solutions available for startups. Now, enjoy flexible fees and charges structure. In POS machine, there are multiple ways of charge that the bank levies on the company who's taking that service. I can have a completely fee waived product wherein you just pay for installation, or vice versa, you have only an installation and the monthly fees are paid in a smaller tenure. So depending upon your business model, depending upon your volume, depending upon your requirement, we provide these kind of products at a much beneficial rate. The last option which says avail loan facilities against card receivable. There is a product called as FCCR, funds against credit card receivables. Suppose there are a lot of startups who have stores, they have presence in various malls wherein the collections are good. Now, basis your receivables, 3 months track record and 1 year bank statement, the bank is more than willing and happy to share a loan facility to any startup. It will not be an equity, but definitely a debt, but it comes handy when you need funds when your startup is progressing. Collections and payment solutions, I think I have told you in brief. The first point which comes under collection solutions is online MIS for faster, accurate, and automated reconciliations. So I told you there is something called a Smart Collect, wherein we tell you this money has been sent by so and so person for this purpose. It is nothing but an information which NPCI shares to us, which is shared to you. Seamless integration with your existing business process. MIS as per your desired frequency at minimum interval of 30 minutes. Now, some companies, they have more than 15-20,000 transactions a day. So, I mean, a company like Swiggy, they do close to 5 to 6 lakh orders a day. Similar is the case with Amazon or Flipkart. So they need the MIS very frequently. Whereas there are some startups who need the MIS at the end of the day. So we customize as per your requirement to make sure that your business runs smoothly. Similarly, in payment solutions, if you see, there is a maker checker to minimize operational risk. So there are times when you make a form. In that form, you place the request for RTGS, NEFT with the account number and IFSC code. There are times when the error happens and there is no control that you can place here. Here, what we do is we can have a maker checker. The checker can also be a multi-layer. So, for example, in my company, my finance personnel can obviously become the maker who will upload the file. There can be any combination. So I can check the file. After my check, it goes to the second person who can check the file. And the third person who finally checks it can be the authorizer. Or another option is up to 10 lakh can be authorized by Mr. X. 10 to 25 lakh can be authorized by Mr. Y. And if it is more than a crore, it can be authorized by 2 people, 3 people, whatever combination that you want can be seamlessly done, which makes really a strong system. Uploading and processing of multiple payments at the click of a button. So anything above 2 lakh becomes RTGS. Below 2 lakh, it's an NEFT. Up to 5 lakh, it's an IMPS. Now we have a system which is designed. You just have to put the payment amount with the details of the receiver. The bank can automatically trigger whether it is an IMPS, NEFT, or RTGS. Post cutoff times, obviously everything will fall as a NEFT, but the bank takes away the responsibility of choosing when and how and what is the mode of transaction that you want to prefer. Here we have been able to do it because we don't charge you for NEFT, IMPS, or RTGS because it is pretty simple for a customer. Payment processing with or without addition of beneficiaries. I told you, you need not add beneficiary up to 50,000 through a net banking platform, and through our cash management services platform, up to 5,000 transactions without adding a beneficiary can be seamlessly done by Maker Checker facility. Tailor-made solutions for your business needs. As I said, we have API and host-to-host based integrations which can help you make your transactions go with ease. So for example, if you have multiple payments which your system is giving as an output, the same can become an input for my systems and the transaction can flow through seamlessly without much of an effort. The right side, which is AllPay is nothing but the payment gateway, which we call that as a AllPay solution. So first is payment gateway, similar platform wherein a customer goes online, clicks on the link, puts in the amount, fills in the entry, and the payment gets done. The next day it gets credited to your account. E-invoicing is a little smart, wherein what we do is we generate a link for a customer to make the payment for a specific amount for the specific product. So normally what happens is in payment gateway, you go to the website and then choose and fill in the details for making a mobile phone payment. So they tell you what is the bill amount that you want to pay, and that gets incorporated in that link. In e-invoicing, you generate an invoice and that gets triggered to his mobile number and email ID, from where the specific amount can be debited for the specific product that has been sold by your company to your customers. Fee collections, it is primarily for the colleges and schools. They are different fees for different classes. There are different students who are willing to make the payment either in 1 month, 3 months, 6 months. All that can be integrated in AllPay solutions, which can make the collection process pretty seamless. Now, Nodal Services, this is something most important, and I think I have explained you in brief. Any e-com company which has been a presence into marketplace will have to go through the Nodal Services. Nodal Services, for the repetitive purpose, I'm again iterating, somebody who's not selling their own product and through a third party or a marketplace solution will have to have the Nodal account in place. The amount gets collected, it gets credited to the Nodal account. From there, the amount would be split into two parts. One would be for your startup, one would be to the vendor who is giving those services. So for example, let's take an example of Urban Clap. So what Urban Clap does is, you have booked a house cleaning service on Urban Clap. So it's not the employee of Urban Clap who will come and do it. Urban Clap is just the aggregator and the platform who help you arrange this service. So somebody who's coming to your house to do it for say 1,200, 200 would be the fees for Urban Clap, and the remaining 1,000 belongs to the person who is actually giving you the service. When you go online and through the payment gateway link, when you make the payment, this 1,200 will go and sit in the Nodal account of Urban Clap. From that 1,200, 1,000 will go to the guy who has given you the service. The remaining 200 would go to the Urban Clap company's parent account. And that is the money which belongs to the startup or the company, which is their business income. Here we can provide you electronic collections, payment gateway, NACH, so that the money gets credited to the Nodal account. In terms of other features like collection credit to Nodal account, merchant payment, offline payments with eMudra, host to host, API, they are different functionalities of the Nodal account. Depending upon the complexity of the transaction, all that can be incorporated. Now, what are the features here? It is very smooth because we have already got some amount of APIs inbuilt. We just have to plug and play to make sure that the system is up and running. The system becomes faster because the settlement becomes proper. I came across some vendors wherein they were struggling big time because they were not getting payment from the startup who was into the marketplace. Now, startup had their own challenges because they were not getting funds on time. As per RBI mandate, T+2 is the day when you have to settle the payment. So if you are a startup who is into the marketplace, then you definitely need to have a Nodal account because it is a regulatory requirement. And bank, we make sure that the facilitation of movement of money gets done seamlessly. All these points are something which comes with the Nodal account and are self-explanatory. So net banking and mobile banking, I would like to repeat that our mobile banking app is really good. The 4.4 rating talks volumes about our app and it is very user friendly. Just to take you through few of the points, you can transfer the money 24/7 instantly, anytime, anywhere, including UPI, NEFT, RTGS, IMPS, and up to 50,000 rupees. You don't have to even add a beneficiary and the money goes seamlessly and everything happens for free. View only access to mandate holders. So there are startups who have people who are working for the company, but you don't want to disclose all the details pertaining to the banking transactions. You do not want to give them a transaction right as well. They would be the accounts person to whom you want to give the access to download the statement, to do the reconciliation if they want to. There you can just provide them a view access. Schedule feature payments. Now this is very interesting. Suppose you are on the go and you are traveling and you want today's 22nd and there are some payments that has to get debited from your account and it has to be settled on 31st of March. All what you have to do is you just have to schedule your payment, choose the mode of payment like RTGS, NEFT, RTGS, and the money goes through on that day seamlessly at 8 a.m. in the morning. View balances across multiple accounts with multiple customer relationship number using one CRN through linked CRN facility. Now, this is a little tricky and internal. You would have a savings account with the bank. You would also have a company account with the bank. Now, the savings account balances should not be visible when you're looking at the company account and vice versa. Kotak has solved this problem. While you will have two different login IDs, but you can switch between the logins whenever you want to access a specific account. It is common when a company or rather an individual is a director in 5-6 companies. Now he has an access to all these companies, but the balances, funds, transactions of one company should not be visible in the other company because it is just not acceptable. So we have simplified the process wherein the login ID would be the same, but the access would be decided by the user who is actually using it at that point of time. Facility to transfer funds to virtual accounts. You can transfer funds to virtual accounts. So I told you an example wherein we help you create a virtual account. Similarly, you would also be a customer to somebody who has given you his virtual account number to make transfers from your mobile phone or net banking on that alphanumeric number. You can do it. CMS Net IT facilities for bulk payment. Let it be a vendor payment. Let it be salary payment. Let it be any number of payments which needs to be done during the day. So when you need not do multiple transactions, just upload one file and the transactions happen seamlessly. Order checkbook, inquire about check status and stop checks. Now this is also very, very important. At times you end up issuing a check and you realize that the check shouldn't get honored because the terms of your payment has changed or you have lost your checkbook. All that can be done from your net banking, mobile banking. If you want to place a request for fresh check leaves, all that is possible. And I repeat, there is no cost for either of the three. So you want 1000 check leaves, you want to stop all the checks that you have issued, all that can be done at the tip of your finger and without any cost. Application for a loan, cash credit, debit card, make a new investment possible. You just have to click the respective icon, decide what you want to do, and the job gets done. Select different fund transfer limits for every CRN. Now, at times when you have an account, your employees also will have an account. There, they want to set specific limits for specific beneficiaries. So you can restrict the amount that you have to make the payment for your beneficiaries so that the control on the payments is really, really good. So suppose there is a vendor to whom you usually pay a couple of lakhs every week. And there are vendors you don't make payments more than 25-30,000 in a month. So you can restrict that amount so that when the maker is uploading the file, there is no possibility of a higher money going to get debited. And all that is possible online. You don't have to sign up any forms to make this effect come into picture. Simplified tax payment through e-tax facility. So in our net banking platform, you have the choice and option to choose the type of tax that you want to pay, and it can be paid seamlessly. You can register your GSTI number. When you make the tax payment, we help you get the tax certificate. Either you can download it online or my service team is there to help you get the certificate the moment the tax gets paid. So this is all about our net banking and mobile banking platform. Active money was the first point that I had covered. Now, as I said, when you are working so hard, why should your money lie idle? And as I said, it is nothing but a interest that we provide to your balances that you hold in a current account. So in Kotak, anything above a specific threshold starts getting you a fixed deposit interest. The reason being, we move the money into a 6 months fixed deposit. Whenever you withdraw the money, say, for example, if your account has a crore kind of balance, anything above 20 lakh was supposed to go into a fixed deposit. So 80 lakh will go into a fixed deposit and 20 lakh will remain in the account. On that 80 lakh, if you hypothetically withdraw 10 lakh, 12 lakh, 14 lakhs, the remaining amount does not break. The remaining amount continue giving you the rate of interest, which is there and which is booked for. But you end up earning interest on the money which is just there in the account, waiting for your instructions to be paid. So here, the amount of money that you keep in the account keeps working for your startup so that you can earn interest out of the funds which are lying idle for a while. So that's active money. Trade and foreign exchange solutions, we call it as a global trade account. So be it an inward remittance or outward remittance, I will not charge you anything for the amount of money being brought to your account. For outward remittances, I don't know if you have experienced it, but the banks charge you a percentage of amount of the remittance that you make. Say, for example, if you have to send $100,000 to a different country for your purchase order or whatever, in this case, we charge you flat 200 rupee, whereas competition charges you in terms of percentage. Even if it is 0.0001%, it still boils down in thousands, whereas in Kotak, you end up paying only 200 rupee, which is really, really good. Import payments, export receivables, capital account transactions, which is FDI and ODI. Our strength is capital account transactions. So, for example, when you have to receive a FDI, there are a lot of paperwork that gets involved. And since our expertise is into this area, we make sure that FCGPR filing, every reporting to RBI gets done on time because it is time-based entry. If you default there, the Series B, Series C becomes a problem because if the reporting is not done appropriately, you will have problems there. So we at Kotak, we understand this and we make sure that the moment money hits our nostro, the credit gets done at the earliest and our backend team starts working on making sure that the filing gets done on time. Dividend payment, royalty payment, agency commissions, these are different types of payments that you end up doing and it is also possible through Kotak. Bill discounting, issuance of bank guarantee. It's a vast subject, but yes, Kotak is adept and completely able to handle all these requirements. The last part is the most important, which is e-trade portal. As I said in my previous conversation, we can do everything online. So be it inward remittance or an outward remittance or tracking, which was the earlier beneficiary whom you have transferred the money, or sending the money to the same third beneficiary which you did in the month prior to this month. All that is inbuilt so that your work becomes really seamless. You will not have to sign up multiple forms. Unless there is a new addition, you will not have to worry about making the payment, which is difficult. In e-trade portal, the pricing remains easy to watch and the transaction is really convenient because the systems itself are capable. Now, all this I have spoken about system, but let me tell you, Kotak is one of the banks wherein we not only have relationship managers, but we also have service team to look after your service requirement. We also have transaction banking counselors who look after your foreign exchange and transaction banking requirements like CMS. So as a whole, you will never ever find yourself left alone. What should I do now? So a relationship manager obviously will be your first point of contact. But at the same time, when you are not able to do something related to foreign exchange transactions or downloading a statement or stuck with your debit card in a different country, we have people who would not be from call center, but a direct mobile number who would be willing to help at any point of time during the day. So that is something which differentiates Kotak from any other bank. FX Live, this is something which I told you. It is our web-based foreign exchange rate booking platform, which enables easy booking of foreign exchange exposures based on your specific requirements and tenures. So in case if you want to do long-term forwards, all that is possible by my FX Live platform. And the biggest advantage is we give you complete transparency. So when I say it's a 5 paisa margin or a 10 paisa margin, we mean it because the excess is given to you completely. Now, let's come to the debit cards. Now, with your company, you would need some cards so that you can access your account. Hypothetically, if you have to withdraw money either in a domestic ATM, I give you a withdrawal limit of as high as 2.5 lakh. In case if you want to set it up at a higher limit, that also is possible. We can give you a limit of your choice, just that you need to have money in your account to withdraw. And whether you go to a Citibank or a Lord Krishna Bank or a Saraswat Cooperative Bank or a HDFC Bank, do it any number of times. I don't charge you. And as I said, internationally also, the same is completely waived off. So that's a power feature of our debit card. The last point which you can see is the Easy Pay card. Easy Pay card is nothing but something which you give it as a prepaid card to your employees. You load it, they use it. When they utilize the amount, you can continuously load it again and again. That way you have a control. It's like the petty expense that you give it to your office people. Instead of using cash, use it on a card and you get MIS saying that this money was spent at so and so place, so that you have complete track of transaction which is done on this card. This is primarily given to your company's employees who have day-to-day expenses like petty expenses. So these are the two forms of cards which can be beneficial for your startup. Now, additional services, I told you it's home banking services, be it check pickup, cash pickup, demand draft delivery, so on and so forth. It is just a click away. You place a request and it gets done. Beach service, it's nothing but a daily service. So suppose in your startup, if it is in a tours and travel business and you see that the checks are coming daily, you don't have to place a request daily. What happens is between the time slot which has been given to you to the Kotak Mahindra Bank, we make sure that the person goes to your office, picks up the instrument, gets deposited, and you get an acknowledgement the same day that these money instruments are deposited in your bank account. Same is with cash. You want to deposit, say, up to 2 lakh of rupee. Some day it can be 10,000, some day it can be 25,000, some day it can be 1.5 lakh. It can be picked up from your office or the registered address and gets deposited to your bank account without any cost every working day. The last point, multi-city free cash deposit. As I said, up to 1.2 crore anywhere in the country, be it Delhi, be it Bangalore, be it Mumbai, anywhere in the country, up to 1.2 crore can be deposited in your startup account. And in terms of withdrawals, if you want to withdraw, I allow you to withdraw 7.5 lakh of rupee every day in any of the branch of your choice in the country. And these are all without any cost. Now, this is the program what I represent. So I manage the business banking piece for Kotak, and we represent the Privy League, which is a elite banking program of Kotak. So we want your relationship to be around 30 lakh of rupee. It can be your personal account plus your company account plus your employee account. It can be anything. It can be in fixed deposit. It can be a bank account. That's about it. Not that we want you to maintain starting day one. We understand that you're a startup and it will take good 3, 6 months, 9 months to grow to that level. We would like to onboard you by understanding your proposition. What is the way that you have planned to take your business to the next level? And we would be happy to onboard you on the Privy League program. So this is on the same lines. Under Privy League program, we have a lot of events. So recently, there was a startup for whom we arranged for an event from Happydemic. Now, Happydemic is a company who have all the rank 3, rank 4, rank 5 Indian idols who are singers, musicians, so on and so forth. They do an exclusive performance for our set of clients whom we refer to them. It is for a half an hour and it's an invite. Apart from that, there are certain companies to whom we have offered them a movie session with say 50 tickets or something like that. As and when there is an event happening in that city, we try and arrange for passes so that you and your team can have a good time, sponsored by Kotak. Now, once you have that Privy League program, there are a lot of other things that comes to you and your family. Now, it is a group relationship that is considered. So suppose your startup account is there with us. So obviously at a director level, at a promoter level, you would need a banking services. At your level, what we do is we give you discount on lockers. We do not charge you on the world travel card, which is the foreign exchange card. Complimentary Privy League signature card, which has a balance withdrawal of 2 lakh, unlimited access to Visa ATMs, uniform benefits to 10 family members. So suppose you, your family, father, brother, all of them can enjoy these services without having a restriction to maintain any kind of balance, because one of the account or all the accounts put together is having that kind of benefits. So the banks extend the same offers to all the family members that you have. Preferential pricing across a range of banking transactions and products. As I said, I don't charge you for IMPS, NEFT, RTGS, or even for investments. We also have expertise in providing you all the investment solutions at an individual level, be it a PMS or a AIF or any kind of mutual fund that you can think of. You yourself can buy. We can have a team of recommendation which can send to you, and you can choose and do it online yourself. This is the Privy League proposition, Prima and Optima. We also offer it to people who earn a salary of 3 lakh and above, and they maintain some amount of balances with us. and we give them good 6 months, 1 year time to reach that stage to continue enjoying the optimal benefits. So there is a debit card which I have just spoke about, which is the Privy League signature debit card. Now we have come up with a card called as Privy League white credit card. The first differentiator is nobody in the market is offering you a white color credit card. It's a credit card. And the best feature is you get 2.25% back to your account if you have a spend of around 12 lakh in a year. Now, there is no card in the country who's giving you a 2.25% kind of cashback when you use your card. Apart from that, we have waived off the fuel and railway surcharge. We give you the complimentary priority pass and lounge access, both international and domestic. And you have an access to use this card at all the major places with a very fine reward point structure. And as I said, you can make 2.25% as a cashback to your account, which is really, really beneficial at a personal level. That's it from my side. And I would be happy to understand if there are questions to understand anything in detail.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ujjwal sir, for giving your valuable insights and outstanding presentation. It was very informative to hear about the schemes and benefits offered by Kotak Mahindra Bank. I hope startups and individuals would definitely benefit from them. So before we move to the end of the event, if anyone have any questions from the speaker, please go ahead. Put the query in the chat box. But I think
Okay, so I think we have one question here where Mr. Anurag Upadhyay has asked that what kind of collateral is required for a startup in case they are requesting for a loan.
I couldn't hear you. If you can
Yeah,
use
sure.
out of Pranya.
Yeah. So basically, Mr. Anurag is asking that what kind of collateral would be required for a startup in case they are, in case they require a loan. So.
See, as I said, startup is something which is a idea which is put into planning and execution, and you can foresee the future, which we probably can't. Today, if we were to talk about Swiggy, the world would be behind them to give them a loan. But if I were to talk about your startup, probably you know what it can be after 1 year, 2 year down the line. But we as a banker would need to sit closely to understand how has been your financials, how has been your performance, if there is any collateral that is available, and then we can look at providing the loan. So there is no structure like home loan at 6.5%, which can be given to a salaried customer. Similar way, we can design something for a startup. But yes, Kotak Mahindra Bank has funded a lot of debt to a lot of startups. Obviously, we would like to dig a little deeper into your books, look into the financials for the last 1 year and how has been the trajectory. And we would be more than happy to offer you a requirement. If you can share your requirement and email ID, it would be really nice for one of us to get in touch with you in the location of your choice.
Okay, thank you so much, Vijay, for answering that. Then I think we had most of the questions where they wanted to connect, where the startups or the companies wanted to connect someone in their region. And I think Mr. Mohil and Mr. Venkatesh answered most of the questions in the chat itself. I think we have one question here from Shiv. She's asking, how does a working capital loan work?
Okay, so working capital, as the name says, it's for working capital. There are two types of loan. One is a capital expenditure and one is a working capital. Working capital is nothing but your day-to-day expense. So for example, if you need a crore to set up a plant, it comes under a capital expenditure, and that primarily can be funded through a term loan. Whereas a working capital loan is nothing but a gap between your payments and receivables. So if you have offered services and you're expecting the money to be coming to hit your account in 60 days, to bridge that gap of 60 days, we provide you solutions like an overdraft or a cash credit to make sure that the business continues. That is what a working capital is all about. And as I said, if there is a collateral and if there is a track record of the company which is available, banks, all the banks for that matter, are more than happy. The best part about Kotak is we are far more startup friendly. And at the same time, we look at, even if there are losses, we understand the reason for losses and are willing to take a little bit of call to make sure that the working capital gaps are met through a OD or a CC kind of product.
Thank you, Ujjwal. I think Mr. Shiv did get his answer. We have one last question that we'll take from Bindu Anil Kumar. His question is for outward remittance, bank charges, remittance charges. So is Kotak going to charge flat 200 rupees on any amount remitted?
Absolutely. And I mean it, what I said. The banks, what you are banking with right now, they will charge you as a percentage. So it will be 0.001 or a 5,000 or a 6,000, or depending upon the amount that you want to do a wire, there is a charge limit. Now in Kotak, once you have an Optima relationship, when I say Optima relationship, it is the 30 lakh group relationship to be spread over a 6-month or a 1-year horizon. I charge you flat 200 rupees. So whether you wire 100 rupee or $1 million, the cost that we charge you is only 200 rupees. And hypothetically, if you're not an Optima customer, on the higher side, we charge you 500 rupees, but it is pre-agreed, pre-decided when you sign the forms. So 200 rupees is the flat fee what we charge to any Optima customer that banks with Kotak Mahindra Bank. In what any which ways comes for free.
Okay, thank you so much, Ujjwal. And I think we have answered most of the questions. And so back to you, Prashasti. And I think we are moving toward the end of the session today.
Yeah, thank you, Pragya. So on behalf of AIC BIMTECH, I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere appreciation to all of you who generously helped us make this event a resounding success. I owe special gratitude to all the invitees present here for accepting our invitation and being so supportive throughout the event. My heartfelt thanks to our speaker, Mr. Ujjwal Banwal, for providing valuable insights about the different offerings by the Kotak Mahindra Bank. A huge thank you to Mr. Venkatesh Bhatt, Mr. Aman Dada, Mr. Mohil Sood, and his team for making the event a success. I would like to thank Birla Institute of Management Technology, our host institute, and special thanks to our academic partners. In the end, I would like to thank all the members of the AIC team who worked behind the screen. Thank you once again. Have a great day and stay safe.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. Thank you so much, team.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.